All right, welcome back. Let's talk about the danger of sorry in relationships. Okay. Now, shout out to Okpe and Ayo. I've followed Okpe and Ayo for quite a few years. They cover relationship stuff on YouTube. I think they're trying to build Instagram, but they've been popping for a while actually. So by the time my wife and I launched Lola and Lola, the YouTube channel, which by the way hits 2,000 subscribers recently, we didn't celebrate that because we're kind of focused here now, right? By that time they were popping on YouTube already, but I haven't really followed them in a while. So, but it's good to see them. They're working with Pastor Kingsley. So there's this video that I wanted to talk about, that inspired me to want to talk about the danger of sorry in relationships. So let me go ahead and play this video and then we'll talk about it.
I remember when we initially got married, right? So she would come and do things like that, like, are we still friends? Are you still my friend? But in my mind, I'm like, you're not just going to come here and just be my friend again. Like, you need to apologize and say sorry. Yes. So for a long time, we struggled with that because I'm like, until you say sorry, I'm not your friend.
And I was thinking, I'm showing the action of sorry.
Exactly.
I'm being sorry.
So I wanted her, to come to me how I would come to her. Because for me, for example, right, if you ask us who is the first to say sorry, it is me. Okay. So I wanted her to be sorry for what you have done and then we can be friends. But her way of saying sorry was, let's be friends again.
Do you want to eat?
Do you understand? And it actually took a good few years to understand that we're different personalities, different temperaments, right? And different backgrounds. Okay, Okwemi has grown up with girls. I have grown up with boys.
That was a struggle for us.
Big struggle.
That was a struggle.
So it took a while to just understand that we're actually totally different. We're going to deal with things differently. Okay, and I needed to allow that. Something has happened. Let's deal with it now. She wants to take a step back.
I want to take a
think about it, evaluate, and then come back with, can we be friends again?
Yeah.
But meanwhile, I'm like, say sorry and let's resolve it now.
Yeah.
I remember.
All right, so I wanted us to talk about that. Yeah. Let's talk about that really quickly. All right, so Okpe and Ayo, they have a YouTube channel. I'll tag them in the cutout later on. When we publish the video, I'll tag them on YouTube just to continue to help them. Anyway, they're talking about sorry, the language of sorry here. You have the 5 love languages, right? And now they're introducing to the languages of sorry. People have different ways that they express sorry, right? And the comment section was quite interesting, and I wanted us to cover some of the stuff in the comment section. So you see, this person said, if she messed up, she needs to communicate at his level. Okay, so you can see there's a sense of competition here. This is how marriages and long-term relationships, that's why they don't last. You might see it as, oh, it's just semantics. No, it's not. This is the mindset of the person talking. And there are ways that this mindset will show up in other areas of life, particularly also in the relationship. All right. If she messed up, she needs to communicate at this level. If 1 would equals to 1, then Y must be equals to Z, right? Never mind if there's another X factor somewhere, the nuances of life, what Okpe or Ayo called the language of sorry, whatever they called it, right? Never mind, you need to operate at my level. If you do it this way, you do it that way. If X equals to Y, Y must equals to Z. And very, very smart, intelligent people will make this mistake because they lack emotional intelligence. He said, it's selfish to expect your partner, okay? So it's selfish to expect your partner to speak your language when you are the one who is wrong. See, right and wrong have found its way into the conversation. Anytime right and wrong find its way into the way you handle conflict within your relationship, you go collect. No, you're right that the other person too will collect.
You're right.
The reality is that you're doing oneness with this person. You self, you go collect. No, you want to use coconut head.
You doing what?
No, you go collect too. You end up in the funk together. When in fact, you do have the autonomy, the agency to say, you know what, there's a different kind of nuance here. Let's look at this a little closer and study it. And that's what Ayo and Okwe have been doing here. So this person said, my need for a verbal. You're trying to do a romantic relationship with another person. You're doing my need for a verbal and sincere apology will not be overrode by how you grew up. The reality is that that's precisely what's going to happen. Your needs will literally get overrode. Your obsession with this needy behavior will literally override the survival of your marriage. Like exactly what you said, not is the reality that's playing out already. It's not even something you can even argue with. It's already, the fact that you would type this out is already playing out. There's an active division now between you and your partner, and you know what the devil likes? Division. It will come rushing right through it, just take over everything. That's all it's looking for, division. Okay, and the reality is that your partner might just be in a weak place. Yeah, sure, you can also claim to be in a weak place. Okay, their page, by the way, on Instagram is Love Lasting Relationships. Okay, yeah, so it is what it is. I think I said something here. Okay, I did say I will be patient with you, bro. That's all I can say. Yeah, because when they talk like this is a very smart person that's talking, but their intelligence has limitations. It has a blind spot, and they are probably not willing to listen right now to they've collected woto from a person that that they love dearly. They might not listen until they hit rock bottom. That's just the way the human brain is set up. So I'm patient. Hopefully you won't destroy yourself before you listen. Somebody says, so how did you meet each other halfway? There is no such thing. Okay, if it exists, it's not measured in centimeters. Most people, when they say halfway, meet halfway, their mind is literally looking for something that mimics human ways of measurement, and it's usually linear in nature. If you don't know maths, I'm sorry. I don't know if I could. There's a better way. If you have a better way of explaining that, please put it in the comment or the chat. Okay. They're usually, when human beings says halfway, they're measuring that linearly, something that mimics centimeters, kilogram, kilometers, mileage, yard, inches, right? And emotions. No be your mate. That's not how the human mind works. Okay, everybody's experiences, their outlook on life, yes, inside of marriage is different, and you want to assess that properly. Make sure that you're looking for something called equity. Equity is not equality. Equity considers it's humble enough to consider all the different nuances, particularly in a romantic relationship. That would also include the emotions, right? Before it makes, try to measure things halfway. Somebody say, I'm so grateful for social media because you can come across a video like this and learn about how communication styles differ precisely. Yep. I can learn about this now and walk into my future marriage more knowledge and advantage than if I had never heard this before. Thank you guys. Love that comment. Anyway, somebody said, but isn't that just ego? It could be. It actually could be ego, but it is also your ego. No, it's also your problem because you are in a life partnership with this person. So any opportunity, anytime they give you some basketballs, it's actually an opportunity to grow together. But you might be seeing it as, meet me halfway too. Or, what about you? But you did this too yesterday. Listen, naturally you will do that when you don't know any better. But when you now know, you know that you're actually shooting yourself on the legs when you move in that manner. So if the other person is playing from a place of ego, and that's your interpretation of what's going on, the last thing you want to do is also play from a point of ego, because it's going to backfire and actually you'll be shooting yourself on the legs. If they're playing from a place of ego, that means they're weak. Whatever it is a form of weakness. It's more likely a form of weakness and not wickedness. It's more likely a form of weakness rather than it is what most people think. Yeah, you're being wicked to me. It could just be, right? And yes, you feel like they're just being mean or being unfair. They should. But again, you're trying to ascend to a new level. You want to be a couple goals, right? Sometimes you have to lift that weight because there's a good chance that if you do that enough times, and if you can't do that, that's fine too. I'm just letting you know that this is what it takes. It's a lot of compromise at so many levels, and sometimes it's as simple as just understanding, like Okwe and I have done, to understand that, hey, the way she says sorry is to come, pull your family rubon, pull your beards, push your head. So that's how she does it. If that's how she does it, but she's actually doing it, I think you should appreciate the blessings in that first. Even if you're going to have a conversation about that later on, I think the conversation can be banterish. Like, you see the smile on her face, that's a very, very happy girl, right? Wouldn't you want that? Or would you rather sit down there, use coconut head and say, no, use your verbs, use your words? Even when you're dealing with kids, there's ways you say that, to get them to actually enjoy doing what you want them to do. That's part of your seduction skills, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody say, I beg, say sorry. What's hard there? It's like asking what's hard with human emotion. That would be a jump question, right? Sometimes it's pride that's making people not to say sorry. You could say that, but you could also be operating from a place of pride by making such an assumption. How about that one, right? Anybody can accuse the other party of pride at any point in time. The reality is that we all have a ego, coconut head, in one shape, form or the other, and it shows up differently. So if you sit down there and you keep accusing your partner of pride, what do you think is going to happen? What kind of fruit are you expecting to get from that? I'm not sure. Okay, so even if that's a conversation you would want to have at some point, you want to make sure that that's done within a controlled environment, meaning they are willing and able to receive it. Not just willing, they are willing and able to receive it. So this person says, I've taught my household how to say sorry. It won't kill you. Actually, that can end up killing them. They will end up saying sorry, and then they will say too much of it, and it will carry no value anymore. Sorry is a very dangerous word. It's a double-edged sword, and it can cut both ways. If somebody had been trained to just say sorry anytime there's crisis, what's going to happen is that they will say so much sorry, their partner will not trust them anymore because there's no changed behavior that backs it up. All right? Most times, all that's needed is change behavior. The word sorry actually damages and destroys more than you realize when it comes to relationship. Okay? The actual word, not the attitude of being apologetic or repentance, or not the attitude itself, not the willingness to be that from another thing. I'm talking about the word sorry. If you have a tendency to just throw the word sorry, you're probably going to use it to eventually destroy your marriage because it can kill trust. Let me know your thoughts about this. I want to know what your thoughts are about this. Do me a favor. Hit the like button, share, subscribe. Tell me if you've been through a situation where somebody just keeps saying I'm sorry and you lost trust in them because it's meaningless. It makes no sense. That's all they know how to do. They never change, but they are quick to say I'm sorry. And tell me that time that you keep saying sorry, but the person, it just seems like they're not responding. It looks like you've been begging for forgiveness and they won't forgive you. Tell me the and everything in between that. Share that with me in the comment, in the chats, and I'll be back in 20 seconds. Hit the like button, share, subscribe. I'll be back in 20 seconds.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. Mom, one love enough, we done enough.